In this video, we're going to be going over how to go and build your own front yard Christmas boxes. And these things are really awesome because the reason they're going to light up and your neighbors are going to be like, wow, I wonder how much they paid for those. Well, the answer is just a few bucks. We're going to go into that too. But before we get into the build, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification icon for all of our newest videos. Let's get to the build. Okay, when building these, you are going to need a few supplies. Let's go over them. Okay, so what we're going to need for this project, or at least I'm going to recommend for this project, you could do this in a different way, I suppose. But for just kind of building these out really quick, because cheap project, so don't spend a lot of time on it. First off, definitely want to have some something like Title Bond 3, which is a waterproof glue. It's going to be for the exterior. That makes sense. Generally, you're going to want a nail gun, or if you wish, or pin nailer really is what that is. Or if you wish, you could do some screws, I suppose, but these are going to be kind of thin because, well, again, cheap project, right? You're definitely going to want some of this shimmery stuff. They call it decorative mesh. So get a few of these. You can get these at like Michael's, get them on Amazon. I'll try to put some links down below for a lot of this stuff. Definitely going to want to have some lights in the color of the mesh that you're going to be using. So red lights, red mesh, green lights, green mesh, blue lights, blue mesh. And that'll emphasize the color as you're going through the process. And then, of course, want some wood scraps, which we definitely have plenty over here of. So in this case, we're going to be using alder for our wood scraps, but if you happen to have pine or actually even better cedar, those are not bad options either. Alder and cedar and a few other types of woods that you may have scraps of are all really good for outdoor use from everything I've read. So I think we're going to go with these. These ones have some imperfections in them that are kind of a pain in the neck to get rid of. So I think these ones are kind of great to use because we're probably not going to use them for anything else anyway. So we'll go ahead and use those. And really all we need to do is just cut these down into strips and then move on to immediately gluing and building. So it's a very fast process. Let's get this started. All right, so all we have to do with the alder in this case, or if you're using pine or whatever it is you're using, all we have to do at this point is just go and cut them down into strips, figure out what size we're going to be using, and that size, by the way, for this one needs to be under 21 inches. There you go. But yeah, let's go ahead and cut down our strips. I am going to cut mine down at 19, and we'll see how that goes, and then I'll probably have to do a little bit of adjusting after that because I'm just going to cut them all to 19 because, well, that's just easy. So we'll go from there. And throw some lights on there. I'll show you how to do that. It's real easy, and we'll be on our way. So let's get this started. Okay, so we all got get these cut down to 19 inches. So now we're going to go ahead and cut the strips and get that moving forward. Okay, so this is all butt joint based construction. So you're doing butt joint to side grain, so end grain to side grain kind of a thing. So do keep that in mind when you're putting this together. It's not a very technical thing, but it is a thing. So these are not designed to be load bearing by any means. They're designed to stay together and be waterproof in the event that it happens to rain or snow, whatever it does in your area. So we'll go ahead and put this together. Like I said, this is really, really easy. So I think you're gonna like it. All right, so this part's going to be pretty simple. We're just going to go and throw some of our waterproof wood glue on here, tack nail it in, pin nail it, whatever you want to call it, and then move on to the next one and just keep moving until we're done. The glue is basically to kind of give a little bit of a bond, even though we're going from end grain to side grain. It's already a weak joint. So between the glue and this, considering the fact it's not a load-bearing object, it should be fine. So when it comes down to it, don't worry about making it load bearing. It doesn't need to be like heavily engineered in order to work great. So just feel free to glue it up real quick, nail it, be done with it, move on to the next part. So anyway, let's go ahead and get to that part. All right. I always say don't think inside the box, but there's the box. So we'll go ahead and put lights in here next, and then we're done. So pretty easy. So not a bad project. We'll go ahead and show that here in just a minute. Okay, so what we're going to do, instead of going and using this guy to go and put the staples in, we're going to change direction a little bit here just because I felt that that was just too much power. Instead, we're going to use these little, what are basically cable clips. We're going to go ahead and put those in throughout here. What we're going to actually start out with is putting the cable clips down at the bottom where the power sections are, and this way we can chain them to other lights fairly easily. So probably a good suggestion. And then you can start in kind of the middle of the strand and kind of just move them around as you need to. So pretty easy. So let's get to that. In this part, basically you just want to go ahead and drape the cloth over the box and just get like a rough measurement of it. So this doesn't have to be like ultra precise, but you want to make sure it at least exceeds the box. Then you just want to go ahead and fill your nail gun with staples, staple those in, and then pull it taut on the opposing side. And that's really about all there is to this part. Okay, so we got one of our boxes done. We wanted to try it out here first, which is this one. And so we got that done. We kind of got the technique down, which that was our first box we ever built like this. So, kind of want to learn from the first one. So anyway, so on this one here, we're basically just going to do the exact same thing we did over here. So there's a couple of things you need to have, of course, which is ribbon, but not just any ribbon, ribbon with wire in it. So this stuff has a little bit of wire in there. I'm sure you might be able to see that on camera. And then this stuff here, which is some dot glue tape thing. And it's a permanent tape, so it's a lot like hot gluing, but if you don't like hot glue guns, which I absolutely hate, this is great, and it's designed to apparently work on fabric, because it actually worked really well on the last one. So I'm going to say, hey, this is probably a win. Don't know how long it'll last, but I guess if you decide to try it, you'll find out. My guess is this is probably not coming off anytime soon. This stuff's pretty strong. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and go through the process of getting the ribbon set up on here, and you folks just kind of get to join along with. So enjoy the trip. Here we go. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is put our glue to the side. And now we're going to go ahead and use our ribbon. And this is not an exact science, so feel free to kind of drape it over, do one of these, do one of these. In fact, I'm actually going to do it this way because this is a little bit easier way to do it, so I did it on the last box. So I'm just going to drape this down here a bit and go for a little bit of excess. Nothing too crazy, but inch or two isn't going to kill it. And if you're really, really designer friendly, you can always go and clip some of it, I suppose. Yes, regular scissors will cut through this stuff, so you don't have to be like all crazy with having metal shears or anything to be able to do this. All right, so got that one done. So I'll pull that apart, and then we'll take this one, and we'll just kind of attach the two together here up at the top, because again, this is approximations, right? You don't need to be perfect about this. No one's going to sit here and measure your ribbons. Well, I hope not. I mean, if they do, then I guess that's a thing. But we'll just go ahead and do this. Get out to here. Looks like that's about right. So I'm just going to kind of come along here. Just going to cut right there to kind of get that started. And then I'll just come over here, pull it tight, clip, clip, clip away. Hopefully. Yes, there we go. There we go. Cool. All right, so now we have our 2 pieces we need for that. So we'll go through the process of gluing this down. 1, 2, 3. We'll go through the process of gluing this down and getting this ready. And all we're really doing is that. Okay, cool. So let's go and get this glued down. Just go ahead and lift this up. Stick it right here on the bottom, and then that's good to go. So now we'll go ahead and turn the box around and do the same. Okay, so we got the ribbon all attached, as you can see, and now we're just attaching the top ribbon section. We found that this gives it a little bit better way of kind of holding everything together. And then when we go to put the top ribbon on here in a second, which you'll get to see, then it's a lot easier to manage that. So pretty awesome. All right, for the bow, you're just gonna cut out a decent size piece, kind of like this. So probably about maybe about a little bit longer than the side of most of your boxes. And then you just simply fold it together like this, and then you'll just put the glue in between those points. So go ahead and do that real quick. Okay. And now that we've got the ribbon done, we're just going to simply attach that to the top of the box. Be gentle. And it should come out looking just fine. So we're going to go ahead and get the other side done, and then we'll show you the final result. All right, here's the last part. Just pop that right there in the center, and you're all good to go. So now we'll go ahead and light it up real quick, just make sure it looks awesome, and go and get these things deployed. All right, so you got a chance to see how the boxes look, and that's what you're looking at right now here on the screen. And as you can tell, they look like almost like a star field. Now, I know in the camera you're not going to see that as well, but ultimately at the end of the day, when you build them, you're going to see that, and they really do have that extra wow factor. They look great on camera, but they look even better in person. And that's just kind of how that works, and you'll understand when you build them. Anyway, that all being said, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification icon for all of our newest videos, as we have a ton coming out here in 2023. In the meantime, happy holidays to you and your family, and most importantly, stay safe in the shop. Take care of yourselves.